Acura RDX 2008. This guy called me and he says the car is idling pretty bad when he says traffic stop. As you can see, the RPM and the car is shaking so bad, but there is no check engine light on. But that's something that is, we don't have a direction where we're gonna go. But I'll say the master flow sensor is dirty or it's not good. But if it's not good, I will have the check engine light already, or it just start to going bad and the computer doesn't want to trip the check engine light. This car has 172,000 miles, 877. And he says it's been started running bad last week. So he called me and I hook up the scanner. That's just the oil change, because it's on 15% now. That's not what this car is here for. As you can see, it's fully warmed up because I tried. He was driving it, and so let's check here the fuel trims on the live data. As you can see, short-term fuel trim, bank 1. This car is only 4 cylinders, so it's pretty easy to do it. It's 46.9, so that is a lot. So this thing is running pretty bad. A long-term fuel trim, bank 1, 17.2, which is, long-term fuel trim is just it's learning what the short-term fuel trim is. It's telling the short-term fuel trim, whatever the baseline is on this thing. Obviously, this car is not going to be on zero short-term fuel trim because it has 172,000 miles. But it's pretty bad right now. It's running super bad. And if we go to master flow sensor, airflow. See, there's a master flow sensor. If we go here, 2.4. 2.5. This car is 2.3 liters. It doesn't look too bad. As you can see, it's responding. So that is another thing. There might be a vacuum leak too. With the vacuum leak, it can do the same thing, idle super bad. So we're gonna check under the hood and see what happened, and see what it is, if we can find a vacuum leak. Very important that you check the fuel trims before you start replacing parts. And checking all the components. So you can see oxygen sensors. Sometimes you get the check engine light. He said the check engine light was on and then it went off, and then it on and then went off. This is the little computer. I do have the 608. This is another level, but this is pretty good. As you can see, you can get a lot of data. That's pretty nice. So 46.9, that's way too much. See, it's running super rich. So it's just way too much. So we're gonna check under the hood. Let's see what we can find. Let's shut this thing off and let's look at it. See what happened. See what we can find. So here is the master flow sensor. That's the one I'm talking about. So this, it measures the air going in here to the engine, and that's how they add the fuel and all that stuff. But we got to check for the hose, vacuum hoses, anything that is ripped off. You got to check for these clamps. Any air that is not passes through this sensor right here is gonna mess with your idle and for the fuel trims and all that stuff. But now when you're running on a highway, you're going 60 miles an hour, it doesn't matter that it's just pulling a lot of air inside, so it's not a big deal. But when you're at a stoplight or stop sign or whatever, or just idling, it's pretty bad. So we're gonna check it out for vacuum leak, see if it has any vacuum hose. Well, as you can see here, yeah, here it is. Here we go. This hose is ripped off. Let me just move this cover right here. Let's see if I can pop this cover out. Okay. All right, let's see. Here it is. See the big crack on this thing? That it could be messing with the idle because it's getting too much air in here. This is not a little leak. This is a lot. So as you can see, this thing is so big. It's a lot of air. So that's why this thing is the mass airflow sensor, which you can see in the live data, it's working. So that's why we don't have the check engine light, but we should have the check engine light. But I'm gonna replace this hose, start it up, and let's see what happens. And I'm gonna clean the mass airflow sensor too. This is what happens when you don't get the check engine light and you get these type of issues like this. So you see the big ass hole. So that's what the engine is running super bad. And also it can be your mass airflow sensor, but in this case I'm gonna clean it anyway to see if I can get it to the correct position. But I'm gonna go to a dealer and buy this brand new hose. Let's see what happens. Alright, so I cleaned the mass airflow sensor. As you can see, I took it out and I cleaned it. I unplugged it. Now it's plugged in because it's going back in, but don't clean it if it's plugged in. Always take the electrical connection out and then clean it, let it dry for 15 minutes. This stuff is gonna tell you to dry it for 15 minutes. So you only use mass airflow sensor cleaner if you're doing that. Do not use brake cleaner or throttle body cleaner or something like that, because you're gonna destroy the thing. And this sensor is still good, because the computer, my scanner is showing the data from these 2.7, 2.8, and it's all over the place, but still good. So now it comes the thing. As you can see, these hose right here ripped off. See what a big crack right there. That's why the car is idling so bad, because all this air is going in is not measured by the computer. And when he got the check engine light, the weird thing, you don't get the check engine light, right? So you only see the car is acting pretty bad, going up and down, and then you don't see this. So obviously my friend, he has no idea. He don't work on cars, so he doesn't really know. But so even if it's cracked like this, still getting air inside. Even if this clamp's loose, all that air going inside is not measured by this sensor right here, which is telling the computer, hey, how much air is going in. So the computer adds that much fuel or things like that. So I went to the dealer, to the Acura dealer, which is Honda, same thing, and I bought a brand new hose. We're gonna put it in. It's a brand new one. We're gonna put it in and then see what happens. You always want to check if it's the same side. In this case, it is. So as you can see, this is a brand new one. So hopefully this fix it, and I'm pretty sure this is what it is, because yeah, it will fit right in, no problem. So I'm gonna swap the clamps in here to here and put it in and start it up. Let's see what happens, because it has no code, so it's nothing that I have to erase with the scanner. But this is what's happened. See, when your car is acting and you not get the check engine light, which is sometimes you do get it, but this guy was getting it, but then it goes away and then come back on, and it goes away and then come back on and goes away, because when he's on the highway doing higher speed, so it's not doing, it's that the air is coming in here. It doesn't really matter, because the throttle is wide open and it's pulling a lot of air inside. So that's what happened. So let's put it on, let's see what happened. Okay, so everything is back on. These are tight, and the air sensor is back on, the mass airflow. So now we're gonna start it up and let's see what happens. Let's see if it's changed. Let's see what happened. Voila, what a change. Start right up, and it's not doing it. You see, it was shaking pretty bad. The RPMs up and down. Now they're just So now we're gonna look at the scanner for it. Okay, so we go short-term fuel trims, short-term fuel trim, bank one. So we go 11.7. So as you can see, it's 11.7. Long-term fuel trim is 18. Now the car is cold, but because I cleaned the master flow sensor, I let it dry for maybe an hour or something, just in case. You know, you don't want to put it on and ruin the electronic thing, because those things are expensive. So as you can see right now, it's running smooth, super smooth. There's no problem. We didn't have any check engine light. So this says when he got the check engine light, he went to AutoZone and they scan it for you, right? Because they use the little scanners, and they say, oh, the oxygen sensor is not good. Well, big mistake, because the oxygen sensor, they get the data from the oxygen is going out, with this mixed with the fuel and everything, right? And then it tells the computer, hey, I got too much oxygen or less or whatever it is. And then they say, oh no, it's an oxygen sensor. But then the check engine light went away. When I hook up my scanner, I couldn't see anything. So that was, I don't know what happened, because it's not check engine light, but the idle was super bad. But now the car is just smooth. You see, it's no shaking at all, nothing. 180,000 miles. It's gonna need an oil change soon, because it's on 15%. But that's pretty much it. So as you can see, and then you wrap it up. Oh my gosh, respond right there. So there you go. When you see your car idling super bad, then don't freak out. Don't start changing parts like oxygen sensors and things like that, because sometimes that's not what it is. You gotta look up at this. Short-term fuel trims, very important. Keep that in mind. But always look up your fuel trims when it comes to things like that. You do not want to start replacing things you see went to 0, 4, 7, 8, 10%. But like I said, this car is not. It's not gonna be running exact, because it's old. This is 2008, so now we're on 2021. So this, it's pretty old. But as you can see now, airflow sensor 3.6, 2.9. I reset the throttle and everything, because because it could be off and things like that. I reset the computer, so now it's learning. So it's in the learning process, and the master flow sensor is all over the place, but it's not too bad for these mileage, and this car is pretty old. So there we go. See, the fix is not too bad. Now it's getting warm, so the short-term fuel trim is dropping down. The long-term fuel trim is dropping down too, that's a good sign. That means it's fixed. So thanks for watching, and next time you car start idling super bad, check out for hoses and vacuum hoses and things like that, because it could be that. Look, you saw the video, which is a big crack on the hose, and that air, it mess with your computer and the fuel ratio and all the fuel trims and things like that. So before you start replacing parts, hook up one of these scanners. This is not a super expensive one. It's not like the one that I have. I had another video. This one, it works good for a Japanese car. Mercedes, BMWs, not really, because this is not doesn't cost that much money. You have to go a different level. But I got the Autel one. There's M608. That one does program keys and everything. So this is it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.